everyone and welcome back to my channel, and if you don't know me already, I'm Courtney, and if you enjoy makeup tutorials, beauty hacks and all that sort of content, make sure to subscribe down below and click that notification bell so you never miss any of my videos. Now, as you can tell by the title of this video, in today's video I'm going to be trying out the viral reverse cat eye eyeliner trend and also giving you a couple of tips that I use as a professional makeup artist to perfect my makeup routine and make my base look flawless. As you know, if you've been following me for a while, all the products will be down in the description box below, as well as my social media links, so you can go and follow me on those if you're interested. So let's not ramble on anymore and let's get on into the video. So I've already primed my skin using the Simple Perfecting Light Moisturiser, which is my favourite moisturiser. It has SPF 15 in it, so it gives you a really nice glowy base for your makeup. Now, I always start my makeup routine with my brows, and personally at the moment I've been really loving the soap brow technique. So that is my tip number one, using the soap brow technique to achieve that really fluffy, full looking brow. So what you're going to need is any soap, preferably clear, but you know, I had this one and this one I'm using, it was literally like 25p from Superdrug or something like that. All you need is a soap, a spoolie, some form of setting spray or water in a spray bottle, and then your favourite brow pomade. So what you're going to want to do is spray a little bit of setting spray onto your soap just to get the soap wet. So what you can do is get your spoolie and rub that back and forth in between the setting spray and the soap to achieve a sort of soapy paste, which looks like this when it goes on the spoolie. And then what you're going to want to do is just brush that back and forth throughout your brow hairs, because you want to cover both the back and front of your brow hairs, or else it won't stick your brow hairs down. So keep going back and forth until you have a nice consistency throughout your brows. Then once you think you have a nice even layer of the soap throughout your brows, what you're going to want to do is first start by pushing the front of your brow hairs upwards. Then what I do is I start to brush them down and towards the tail end to shape the shape of the brow, like so. So basically what I've done there is I've just brushed my brow hairs in the direction that I want my brow to flow, whilst also pushing them into the shape that I want my brow to be. Now, some people like to brush their brow hairs up directly, but I prefer to shape them like this, just because I prefer it that way. It is all down to personal preference. If you like to brush them up directly, then that is down to you. Experiment, play around with it and find out what works for you. Now, sometimes if your brow hairs aren't laid down completely flat, and they will ping back up again, so what you can do is get the end of your spoolie and you can just run that over the top of your brow, and that will just lay it down nice and flat right against your skin. So as you can see here is the difference between my natural brow and the brow which has the soap pushed throughout the brow hairs. Now what you're going to want to do is get your favourite brow pomade, and mine is the Revolution Pro brow pomade in dark brown, and then get an angled brow brush and just dip slightly into the pomade, but brush most of the product off the brush, because you only really need a really tiny small amount of product to work with at each time. And that's because we're not filling in the brows completely. All we're doing is making those areas that look a little bit more sparse, a little bit more full and fluffy. So then I just look directly forward into my mirror at my brow, and then I just see any areas that have any sparseness, and I just do light brow strokes to mimic the shape of brow hairs, just to fill in those gaps that are sparse and to make the brow look a bit more full, but also maintaining a more natural appearance than what you would get if you just filled your brow in without doing the soap brow technique. So don't worry about making this inner corner here messy, because once you go in with a concealer, you can carve out the underneath side of your brow and then remove any excess product. I just like to go in quite messily just to create really natural strokes, and then I go in and remove the excess product once I've done. So that is the difference between my brow that's done on this side and the brow that has no product in it on this side. So that is my tip number one. So once I've done my brows, I always move on to eyeshadow, but because we're going to be doing the reverse cat eye trend, I'm going to do my base makeup first. So for my tip number 2 is to apply your foundation directly onto your face, but avoid the areas which you're going to put concealer underneath the eyes especially. This is because if you layer too many products up, that concealer is then going to crease and create fine lines and ruin your base. I personally really struggle with creasing in my smile lines, in my underlines and on my forehead, just because of the way my face moves. Everybody's built different. Some people don't have deep smile lines, but I really do have deep smile lines. So I personally, when I apply any foundation or concealers, because some days I just wear concealer, some days I just wear a little bit of foundation, I tend to avoid the areas that crease too much because I just don't want it to crease and ruin my base throughout the day. So the foundation that I'm going to be using today is a Revolution Matte Base Pore Blurring Full Coverage Foundation in F3, and as you can tell, this bottle is literally almost empty. I've had this for so long because it's one of my favourite foundations. Obviously in my makeup bag all the paint's chipped off, so I really need to go out and get another one, but there's literally nothing left, and I'm not one of those people that wastes products, so I'm going to try and squeeze the life out of this and get all the product out. So I'm just going to be applying this throughout my face, and then I'll be applying a little bit of concealer over the areas where I've got spots or any redness, because I do have quite a lot of spots at the moment. I seem to be breaking out quite a lot at the moment due to the heat, having different products on my face. So what I like to do is take a flat brush and just use that to spread the foundation across my face and then pounce that out using a beauty sponge. So as you can see, I'm deliberately avoiding the area underneath my eyes, and that is because once I've blended out my foundation, I will be applying concealer there, and as I said, I do not want to layer too many products. And then taking my damp beauty sponge, I'm just going to pounce that out throughout my face. So now I've applied that foundation evenly across my entire face, I'm just going to be applying the Lasting Perfection Concealer in the shade Rose 1 Porcelain in the areas that I avoided with the foundation. And as I said before, doing it this way will avoid creasing further down the line because there is less product in that area. I'm also just going to apply some concealer over the areas that have any redness. For example, my spots, but not too much because some of them are quite crusty, dusty and musty. And there you have it, that is my tip number 2. To set the areas of my face that I'm not going to be cream contouring, I'm going to be using the Illamasqua Loose Setting Powder. So I'm just going to speed through that off camera. Tip number 3 is a tip for applying your cream contour products. So usually what I would do is go straight in with the cream contour product directly onto my skin. But what I've found is that is achieving a very unnatural finish, where sometimes I'm applying too much product, it's not that easy to blend out, and then you just end up with this muddy streak across your face. So tip number 3 is using an angled contour brush, applying the product to the brush, not onto your face, onto the brush, and then using that to tap it out across your face, and that will achieve a more even and blended finish. So what I'm doing here is using the Illamasqua Gel Sculpt in the shade Silhouette, and then I'm just applying that directly onto my brush in a couple of strokes, and then I'll show you here. I'm applying that in tapping motions, pulling my brush upwards. You don't want to pull the brush downwards because that will make a more rounded effect. Pulling my brush upwards in my cheekbone area to create a chiseled and contoured shape. So you can see the difference there between the side that I've applied the cream contour and the side that I haven't. It's a very obviously sculpted effect, but it's a very natural and even finish. So I'm just going to speed through that and apply that throughout the rest of my face, and I'll also show you how I apply that method to my nose as well. my nose, it's basically the exact same method. Apply the product directly onto the brush and then apply it directly onto your face. For the nose, I just slightly... Sorry, that was a huge truck that I just drove past. For the nose, I apply it directly to the base. I then apply it to both sides of the nose. You don't have to be too neat with this because we will even it out later with powder products. And that is how I contour my nose with cream products. To set all the areas that I just cream contoured, I'm going to be using the Pro Beauty Gimme Sun Bronzer in Light. And I'm just going to be using this Morphe M527 brush to set my cheekbones and my forehead, and then I'll be using a separate smaller fluffy brush to do my nose. And then for my nose, I'm just using this smaller fluffy brush and then just applying it in the exact same way that I applied the cream contour product, using circular motions to carve out my nose. And I also like to bring that into the top area of my nose and slightly towards my brow bone just to elongate the shape of my nose. For blush, I'm using the Pro Beauty Pretty Fly blush in the shade Viva La Vacay. And what I'm going to be doing is using this Morphe M405 brush, and I like to tap into the product, dust off the excess because these brushes are very, very pigmented. And I like to apply my blush very, very high up on my cheekbones, almost where you would be applying your highlighter. And that is my tip number 4, I believe. I can't remember if it's 3 or 4, but we're going to go with 4. And I like to tap that on. I don't like to swipe it. I like to tap because I think it applies the product evenly. The thing that you've got to realise with blush is apply little at a time because you can't remove once it's on. And once you've got too much blush on, you do look a bit sunburnt. So I just like to use this method just to apply my blush in tapping motions. Now for highlighter today, I'm going to be using the highlighter which is in the centre of the BH Cosmetics Zodiac palette. This highlighter here, which has a beautiful gold reflect to it. And I'm going to be applying that using this Morphe M501 highlighting brush. And I'm just going to tap gently into this product because it is a very pigmented highlighter. Just that small amount. And I'm just going to apply that to the high points of my cheekbones. Whoa, like I forgot how pigmented this highlighter is. I think that might be too much. I'm just going to get a smaller mirror quickly just to see that because I think that highlighter is so pigmented. Oh my god. Okay, so tip number 5, I believe, is if you apply too much highlighter like this and it is just so in your face bright, which some people might love, but personally I don't like having that strip. Take your damp beauty sponge, whatever side, it doesn't really matter, and just tap gently over that highlighter, and what it will do is even out the highlighter, just remove some of that glitteriness and make it look more smooth on your skin. So that is tip number 5. I'm just being a bit more careful now with the highlighter that I apply because that was just insane. I seriously forget sometimes how pigmented some products are. I'm just using my finger just to apply a small amount to the tip of my nose. Even that small, I literally lightly dabbed into it and that is insane. Dipping again slightly to highlight my chin. And then eventually once I've completed the eye look, I will highlight my brow bones also. Now for the reverse cat eye trend, I'm just going to pop some pictures up over here. What I'm going to do first is just apply the Lasting Perfection Concealer onto my eyelids just to create a base for the look. And I'm just going to dab that directly onto my eyelids so we have a base for the eyeshadows. And then I'm going to use this flat brush just to evenly spread that across my entire lid. I'm also using that same product just to carve out the lower side of my brow. And then I'm just using this fluffy brush just to spread that evenly across my lid. Now obviously the main focus of this look is not the upper lid, it is the lower lid reverse eyeliner. So I'm not going to be applying too much throughout my upper lid. I'm just going to add a soft grey toned nude brown across my lid, and then we'll focus on the lower lid after I've done that. So what I'm going to do is take the Beauty Bay Nude palette, and I'm going to be taking the shade Earth which is this cool toned brown shade here. And I'm just going to be applying that into the outer corner of my eye to start. And then bringing that inwards just to add some shadow into the socket of the eye, using light circular motions just to help in blending that shade out. Then bring that out slightly towards the temple. Then what I'm going to be doing is taking the shade Vanilla Latte, which is this light nude bone tone shade, and I'm just going to be applying that throughout the look, directly over the edge of where we place the shade Earth, in circular motions. Dragging that out towards the temple once again. And I'm also going to take that shade on a smaller brush and just apply that into the inner half of the lid. And then go back in slightly with Earth and tap off the excess product from the brush and just go back into the socket and outer corner once again, just to deepen up the area. So that is the upper lid done. And just to finish off the upper lid, I'm taking that highlighter that we applied on our face on this angled brush, just adding that into my brow bone area just to highlight the brow bone. Now what I've seen people do on TikTok and YouTube to apply the reversed eyeliner is go in with a cream or a gel or a pencil liner and apply that into your waterline and create a sort of small flick, then blend that out with an eyeshadow. So that is what I'm going to be trying today. So what I'm using here is the Cien, I don't know what it is, but it's the Little Own brand makeup. I just really love this. It's a really creamy pencil, I guess. What I'm going to be doing is applying that directly into my waterline. So I'm just going to apply that into my waterline. Now I don't know if this trend is going to suit me personally, because I do not like putting black in my waterline, because I feel that it really makes my eyes look smaller when what I'm trying to achieve is the look that my eyes are bigger. Then I'm just going to apply that slightly below onto the lower lid. And then bring that out slightly, like a little flick. Then I'm just taking this Real Techniques brush and I'm just going to go back and forth and try and blend that out. And use that as a base for the eyeshadow look. Oh, I hate doing this on my waterline. I'm then going to use this small Morphe M506 brush and dip into the shade Illicit, which is this black shade in the nude palette. Tap off most of the excess because I don't want to create fallout onto my base. And then I'm just going to use that to go over the edge of that black eyeliner, just to add further pigmentation. I'm then going to go into this Vanilla Latte shade with a Morphe M456 brush and go directly beneath that black Illicit shade to help in blending that shade out and making a smooth edge. Now what I'm going to do just to complete the inner corner of the eye is get the MAC Black Track Pro Longwear Fluid Line Gel Liner and this Morphe M2501 brush, and then just pick a tiny amount of product out of the pot and then create a little line in the inner corner to create that really elongated eye look. So I've got my little brush here. Just going to look directly forward into the mirror and join that like so. I personally prefer it before you add that little bit in the middle, but I've seen most of the people online do it like that with the inner corner, but personally I actually prefer it without. So what I'm going to do is just blend the shadow in towards the inner corner slightly, because I feel that this area here just looks a bit odd without the eyeshadow underneath it. So I'm just going to do that quickly. So what I'm going to do now is just do the exact same thing on the other eye, apply my favourite mascara, which is the Lash Surge Mascara by Collection Cosmetics, and then I'm going to be applying the Arianna Doll Beauty Lashes off camera, and then once I've done that I'm going to come back. So here you have it, this is my attempt at the reverse cat eyeliner trend. What do you guys think? I just don't look like myself. I never ever do like really harsh black smoky eye on the lower lid unless I'm doing something strong on the upper lid, because I just feel like it makes my eyes look smaller. But I don't know, I'm not used to seeing myself with such a dark waterline. Just looking at a mirror here, it just doesn't even look like me. I just don't look like me. Don't know, like, I look a lot older for sure. Not necessarily a bad thing. I'm only 22, so I don't know. Comment down below, guys. Do you think that this look suits me? Do you think that this works out with my facial shape, with my eye shape? Do you think that you're going to try this out yourself? Because personally, I think it suits everyone. Everyone so far that I've seen do this trend and try this reverse cat eyeliner has looked amazing. So I don't know, guys. So yeah, I really hope that you enjoyed this video. Comment down below, as I said, whether you're going to try this look out, whether you have tried this look out, and whether you think it suits me or not. And also let me know if you like the 5 tips that I gave you guys, because I am a professional makeup artist. They are things that I use in my daily makeup routine and on clients. And let me know if you want me to make some more makeup tips video on things that I do whilst I'm applying makeup on clients, or tips that I use specifically for my own makeup routine, or if you just want to suggest any video ideas down below, please go and do that, because I will create those videos for you. Once again, all the products are down in the description box below, and all my social medias are also linked down below as well, so go and follow me on all of those. My Twitter, Instagram, Facebook and my TikTok are down there below, so please do come and follow me over on those social media platforms. Thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video and hit the notification bell so you never miss any of my videos, and I will see you next time. Bye!